Good evening, Valley. Thank you so much for joining us on CBS 4 this weekend. I'm SydneyHernandez. The hearing for an injunction filed against Customs and Border Protection. Coronavirus continues to spread rapidly in the United States with more than 3,200 confirmed cases. Democrat Beto O'Rourke says he is ending his Democratic presidential campaign. New today, an 18-year-old from San Juan accused of targeting schools in social media posts. COVID-19 virus continues to send. South Padre Island is working with Cameron County in an effort to shut down spring break events. We begin today with an update to the case of former Edinburgh City Manager Juan Guerra. Starr County Special Crimes Unit says they are seeing an increase in kids sharing explicit photos of themselves. Our CBS 4 On the Road crew is ready for some Friday night football. Chris and Nicole are live at Lions Stadium in La Feria.
The obesity problem. Sydney.
Nicole, obesity has been a problem throughout the city of McAllen and the Rio Grande Valley. The Mexican fruit fly is known as the fruit killer in Mexico, but recently the dangerous pest has crossed over and has been seen attacking Rio Grande Valley fruit. They're back open, so come on down to La Especial Bakery, grab some empanadas. I mean, they're amazing, let me tell you.
Oh my God. I wish you could feel what I feel. It's amazing. It smells so good in here. Let's take a look at some of these pastries.
And just moments ago, we found the actual mirror from the driver's car still lying here. Everything that was glass was broken in. Check this out. This entire area was full of stained glass. Now there's nothing here. And it goes on and on. This is a large group of immigrants that were just apprehended. You can see there's small children traveling, and the whole group is still out here. Several of them did run away from Border Patrol agents to avoid apprehension, waiting to greet President Trump. Now, I was allowed access to travel with the president. This is 6 days after the initial floodwaters hit. You can see this home has been underwater for days, and their backyard is essentially now a lake. This is the actual boat that the homeowners used to rescue many of their neighbors. Saw him performing CPR and trying to revive that undocumented immigrant. But there were two more that started walking down this exact path. They took off, running away from the agent, and ran into this unfinished home. Right now it's about 6 o'clock, but in about 30 minutes it's going to be pitch black. I'm going to turn these lights off so you can see how dark it's getting right now, and we still have about 30 minutes. So the sun is already setting, and residents say it gets like this. This is the home that Naida Alvarez stands to lose if a border wall is built through her property here in Starr County. She's lived on this land for over 40 years and even painted "No Border Wall" on her roof. Rio Grande Valley Customs officers have been sent to the Del Rio area to help with the migrant caravan that is approaching. Absolutely, Chris. It is a party over here at Costa Mesa where the incumbent Sheriff Eriguera is joining us now live. Sheriff, congratulations, over 15,000 votes. There were 2 delays. You said it yourself, but let me tell you, just because there wasn't electricity did not mean there was no energy in this stadium today. Definitely a powerhouse. Now, both teams very strong, but the ones that are really taking it over is McAllen Memorial. We have Campbell Spades, 3 touchdowns tonight, and just because it's the fourth quarter, oh my gosh, y'all, another delay. This is live. This is Texas football. Day
There's more.
or night.
Hey guys, you can have 2 more.
The flow
4 bodies.
does not stop.
Unbelievable. Seeing at least 300 people in 5 hours, plus another 300, plus another 400 every day. I mean, it's bad.
Officer Herman Quintanilla is not a Border Patrol agent. Quintanilla is a Sullivan City police officer and is part of Operation Stone Garden, a federally funded grant that allows local law enforcement to assist Border Patrol.
When it used to be only 20 IAs a day, or maybe 10 a day with a little, foot pursuit, or,
Right.
Now it's just like, oh, let me go. During the night, like I'm driving during the night or military, and then I see like family units walking by themselves.
The small border town of Sullivan City is only 3.2 square miles, but sees hundreds
¿Cuándo cruzaste la frontera?
and hundreds
6 juvies and 11 family.
of illegal crossings. This is a park in Sullivan City. You can see several residents are playing basketball in the back. And in this same park, you can see there are hundreds of undocumented immigrants that were just apprehended by Border Patrol. In this group, there are several pregnant women.
¿Cuántos meses tienes? 6 meses.
In that group, a 6-year-old girl from El Salvador is traveling alone.
Es que quería conocer a mi mamá y quería estar con ella.
Naniela tells me her aunt sent her alone so she can meet her mom in New Jersey, where she migrated to years earlier. The girl says her aunt told her to go up to the men in green, and they would help reunite her with her mother.
¿No tenías miedo?
No.
The area the 6-year-old crossed through is known for drugs and human smuggling.
We often see a lot of narcotic movement and smuggling of persons, family units, you name it, on this some main point of entry for them to be smuggled and walk upon to the military road here on Sullivan City Road.
Officer Ray Cortez is also part of Operation Stone Garden. He teams up with Border Patrol and gets to work. Inside this stash house, a group of 5 were sleeping before being caught. Agents say this woman has been deported twice and is a known human smuggler. And while this stash house is much cleaner than most, not all are. This is the inside of an abandoned stash house in Sullivan City. You can see there's dozens of clothes on the floor, small toys for children, and this is just a general location, just one of many where undocumented immigrants hide out until they're waiting to be transported to another location. Which is exactly what this truck was doing.
And they picked up this individual that has no proper identification that we can identify. So at this point, we call United States Border Patrol so they can identify if he's here legally or illegally.
The teen driver is an American citizen whose parents work at the local sheriff's department, according to police.
He's saying his dad's a sergeant over at county and his mom's a captain.
The immigrant was taken by Border Patrol while the driver and passenger were arrested. He's from Mexico and says this is his 3rd time crossing illegally. Although the majority of those crossing are from Central America, not everyone is.
Hemos estado secuestrados aquí en México. Nos asaltaron en Nicaragua.
This couple is from Cuba and say they were held hostage in Mexico and assaulted in Nicaragua during their journey to the United States. The beating so bad, the woman says she had a miscarriage.
La gente se desaparece, los trancan y nomás nunca sus familiares saben de ellos.
They say they're fleeing Cuba because their government is corrupt and people go missing daily. But they are just 2 of thousands seeking asylum. This is a large group of immigrants that were just apprehended, and you can see there's small children traveling, and the whole group is still out here. Several of them did run away from Border Patrol agents to avoid apprehension, but they do believe that additional immigrants were traveling with this group and were scattered before getting caught. But not all of them want to be caught. At the same time, this group of 200 turned themselves in. A helicopter spotted a group of runners in this cornfield. The group has just been crossed by smugglers on a raft. I asked them why they ran.
Hola, soy una reportera aquí de Estados Unidos. ¿Cómo están?
One in the group tells me he's been deported 6 times and ran so it wouldn't become a 7th. But agents and officers made sure he didn't slip away. Whether they run,
They're running, so we're gonna have to.
Or turn themselves in. On the ground,
You got one down there?
or in the air. The camaraderie these officers and agents have is what keeps border communities in the Rio Grande Valley safe.
And we have a great relationship with the city of, or police department of Sullivan City. We work very well with them.
On the Texas-Mexico border, SydneyHernandez, CBS 4 Valley, tonight. David Gomez starts his day at 4:30 every morning to make sure he picks up his 200-plus students for their daily bus ride to Nicky Rowe High School in McAllen. 11 seniors ride his bus every morning and afternoon, the same bus they've ridden since they were freshmen.
Gabriela, Alondra, Javier.
And as graduation nears, Mr. Gomez wanted to give them one last parting gift.
I tell them, hey guys, I have something for you.
The bus driver made them each a handwritten card with $20 inside.
Pensé que era una manera de contribuir con ellos, un detalle pequeño, ¿verdad?
The cards quickly went viral on social media, reminding others how one person can touch so many hearts.
They show every day for 4 years. I love those students. I do from the bottom of my heart to give you something, you know, special. I know it's nothing much.
But for some, it was much more than they expected, and some of his seniors decided to repay the favor.
We just wanted to give something back to him, even though it wasn't too much. We wanted to show him that we also care and love him and thank him for everything he has done for us.
And although these seniors will all go their separate ways after graduation, they say Mr. Gomez will always have a special place in their heart.
He's always there for us. Most people don't ask us, like, oh, what's wrong with your life or anything, but he was one of them who would ask every day.
And Mr. Gomez will be at their graduation Friday to wave goodbye one last time.
I love my job, and I continue doing my job. I love those students.
In McAllen, with complete Valley coverage, SydneyHernandez, CBS 4 Valley at 6.
300 Waco, East Iowa. I need another unit by Canton.
Also locked down, there is a bottle of Malibu liquor still open in the back.
They saw them strike a pole. They saw the suspect leave the scene.
Last year in Hidalgo County, there were 953 DWI-related crashes.
In Hidalgo County, we see alcohol-related DWIs, but there's a large amount with the prevalence of Xanax.
I know she has a driver license.
Okay, Xanax and other prescribed drugs.
Statewide, 522 people died on Texas roads because of drunk driving.
But most of them, they already have a record of prior DWI arrest. Miss.
Like this man who was pulled over by Alton police.
He had been arrested before. He did 10 years for an intoxication manslaughter back in 2002. Put your feet together, your arms to your side. You're going to pick up one leg. Based on the field sobriety test, I knew that he had more than the 3 to 4 beers. So then I asked him, I was like, you know, I obviously know that you drank more than 3 to 4 beers. So how many beers did you actually have? To which he stated he had maybe 5 to 6.
But tonight, Officer Lozano,
I can tell that you've had more than 3 to 4 beers.
Who was awarded by MAD for the most DWI arrests in his city,
You're under arrest for public intoxication.
wasn't going to let that driver take another life.
I'm not going to catch everybody, but at least I know that that person that I took off the street, you know, that day or that night, I know that that person is not going to go hurt himself, hurt other people, kill other people.
According to TxDOT, drunk driving is the #1 cause of death on Texas roads. And here in the Valley,
We can get 2, 3, 4 DWIs in a shift.
officers are seeing more of it.
Okay, my partner here is going to take you to the police department. You're going to get processed by the court.
We finished the year in 2018. Want to say around 80 DWI arrests. This past year in 2019, I want to say the number was 155. So it's definitely these past 2 years we've seen a jump in DWI arrests.
And tonight is no different.
The last test I'm going to have you do is called the one-leg stand.
This man in Edinburgh slammed into a pole, but walked away unharmed.
What if you would have kept going as fast as you were going and you wouldn't have been there for your kid because you died in an accident because you were driving so reckless?
And drunk driving continues to happen more in the Valley.
If you go into our courts, particularly our county courts, you would see the huge numbers of DWI cases that are on the dockets. I mean, we have huge numbers in this county.
Anna Verley works with Mothers Against Drunk Driving and says 22 people died from drinking and driving last year in Hidalgo County alone, and dozens more seriously hurt.
Not everyone who is involved in a crash dies. You know, I've worked with victims who have lost limbs. I work with a victim that is a double amputee who was pronounced dead. At some point, I guess, came to and was airlifted.
These officers want to make sure they do their part in stopping the problem.
We try to fight this this epidemic. You know, it's an epidemic. You know, there's a lot of people that don't see the fear in driving intoxicated.
Especially after it happened to one of them.
We lost an EMS because of a drunk driver. We lost a dispatcher because of drunk driving. So those kind of hit home. You know, we're all first responders. You know, we all see each other as brothers and sisters, so it kind of hits home.
Regardless of the agency, the mission stays the same.
Sierra Elton, I'm pulling up here on Tri-City 2.
Serve and protect.
Anything you say can and will be used against you in court.
And keep drunk drivers off the streets.
If you're breaking these laws, like driving while intoxicated, at the end of the day, we still got to do our jobs.
Reporting with complete Valley coverage, SydneyHernandez, CBS 4 Valley at 10.